Hello lovelies. So in this video I want to explain to you as briefly as I can how breathing actually works. So there's two types of breathing. There's this sort of external breathing that happens in our lungs, like we take air in from the outside, it comes into our lungs, and then we exhale a different combination of oxygen and carbon dioxide. But there's another level to our breathing that we don't tend to think about very much, and that is our cellular breathing. So once the air comes into our lungs and that oxygen comes into our bloodstream, the real point of breathing is that that oxygen gets to all our cells. And so that's the point of breathing. It's not to take air into our lungs, it's to get oxygen to all our cells, and for our cells to offload toxins, including carbon dioxide, that we can get rid of, and we can get rid of those through our exhale. So one of the mistakes that we can make about breathing is that good breathing is all about how much air you take in. So a nice deep breath is, and you see that my chest rises, and we have this idea that this is a good deep breath. So what I want to kind of encourage you to do a total mind shift on breathing is that breathing is not about how much air you take into your lungs. It's how efficient you're able to deliver that oxygen to your cells. This impacts our health in the broadest possible way. And, we tend to think about food as our main energy source, but our real main energy source is oxygen. We can't go more than a minute without it, or we could go days without food. And this is how everything works in our bodies. It's how we stay well. So I'm so excited to teach you a little bit about this, because it's going to really radically shift how you think about breathing, and I hope also really motivate you to keep up your practice, because you understand how you're going to feel it as well, but you'll understand how it's working and how important it is. So we have these two breathings sort of processes happening. We have the external in and out of our lungs, and we have the internal through our blood to our cells. Now, the way that cellular breathing works is we know that the red blood cells carry oxygen around the body. And I want you to think about these a little bit like a mail delivery truck. So you've got these packages, and you've got these drivers driving around the body looking to see who needs a delivery, okay? And who needs packages taken off them to deliver back to the lungs to get rid of. So if you've ever been to the doctor or the hospital and you've had that little thing put on your finger to check your oxygen levels in your bloodstream, you'll know that your bloodstream is always saturated with oxygen. You always have enough oxygen. Your oxygen level is always between 97 and 99% saturation. So getting air in and getting oxygen in is not our problem. What we need to do is do a better job at telling our delivery trucks to actually deliver that oxygen. Now, what makes a delivery truck deliver oxygen, or a red blood cell let go of their oxygen and give it to a cell? The big sign that says deliver is carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide, as it increases in your bloodstream, because you're working hard, like you're running, and you're using a lot of oxygen, and the carbon dioxide is rising in your body, and you need to breathe quickly to get rid of it. So that's one sort of way that carbon dioxide can go up. Another way is holding your breath. So if you hold your breath, slowly the level of carbon dioxide that the cells are getting rid of and putting in your bloodstream will start going up. Now, what happens when the carbon dioxide level goes up in our body is that our red blood cells, our little mail trucks, get busy delivering all their oxygen packages. That's the sign, like, oh, we're really working here, we need more oxygen. What can happen when we stress breathe, so pay attention here, because I know this is getting scientific and a bit technical, but it's really important. When we stress breathe, we breathe faster than we should. And that means that we're giving off too much carbon dioxide, which means that in our blood, there's not as many signs to deliver the oxygen. So we have plenty of oxygen in our bodies, but our delivery system is not working very well, okay? So that's why when we are stressed and we're stress breathing, we can also feel really fatigued, really cloudy headed, you know, and there's no amount of coffee that's gonna fix that. I've tried it too. So, you know, what we need to do and what the aim of this course is partially for is to bring us back into well-being on the internal breathing, okay? So that we increase, so what we're really trying to do is increase our tolerance for carbon dioxide. So this is another really important point, and we talked about this yesterday in one of the videos, is basically we've reset what normal is in our body. We live in a world that is introducing us to constant stressors. So we haven't really had a chance to recover very well from the last stress before the next stress comes up. And over time, remember, we sort of forget how to come all the way back down to a real rest and relax kind of feeling, but also physiologically in our bodies. When we come back down, we still only come back down a certain way into what's essentially still a stress zone. It's just not quite as high a stress as we were before. So what that means for our internal breathing is that we have shifted our tolerance for carbon dioxide in our blood. And so that means that we get this impulse to breathe faster, that we need more air because our delivery system just isn't working very well. So what we're gonna do is learn some very simple and very effective breathing practices that over time are gonna shift you back into what is a really healthy tolerance for carbon dioxide. We're basically gonna get back to a good internal breathing so that your breathing to all your cells is actually working really well. And that in turn is gonna have massive impact on how much you're able to step away from feeling stressed, how much you're able to step away from the stress response, like if something triggers you, whether you react quite so strongly to it or not. So what we're doing is we're really working at a very deep level. It seems very simple, and breathing is one of those things it's very easy to discount or overlook because it seems so simple. But I just want to reassure you and inspire you that these small practices that anyone can do will actually completely transform both the way that your internal breathing happens, which will impact your health, which will impact your stress response, but also will give you a feeling of well-being that I think we're all looking for. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, you know where I am. Just email me back on this email. And let's get into our practice for today.